My name is Selena Gomez. I don't know when I first realized the world is bigger than a childhood home, yet harder than I could ever imagine. I was born in a small town, not rich, not famous, just ordinary. But I always felt extraordinary inside. I loved music before I could even understand what it meant. I loved to dance, to sing, to dream about a life bigger than the streets I grew up in. Life wasn't easy. My parents tried their best, but money was always tight. We struggled with bills, rent, and sometimes even the simplest things. But even in those moments, I felt a fire inside me. A fire that told me I was meant for something bigger, something no hardship could ever take away. I started acting in small shows, singing at school events, anything I could do to reach the world beyond my small life. I worked hard, sometimes harder than anyone else I knew. And slowly, the world started noticing me. But with attention came pressure. I was young, learning about fame, about expectations, about the demands of being someone everyone wanted to watch. Sometimes I wished I could just be a normal girl, but the fire inside me didn't allow that. I learned something early. Dreams are worth fighting for, but fighting comes with scars. And even before I fully understood life, I knew I was going to carry mine. The moment I stepped into the world of acting and music, everything changed. I was still just Selena Gomez, a young girl with dreams bigger than my circumstances, but suddenly, the world started watching. I remember my first auditions. The nervousness, the shaking hands, the butterflies in my stomach, it all felt overwhelming. I questioned myself constantly. Am I good enough? Will they see me, or just my mistakes? But then I got my first role. I was on a small TV show, and although it wasn't a blockbuster, it was enough to make me realize I could actually do this. I could belong in this world, this bright, glittering, and sometimes unforgiving world of fame. I worked tirelessly. Early mornings, late nights, rehearsals that never ended. I missed birthdays, family dinners, and sometimes even sleep. But every time I sang, every time I performed, I felt alive. I felt like I was finally holding on to my dreams, even if just for a moment. Fame was exciting, but it was also heavy. I learned quickly that people were always watching, always judging. My mistakes were amplified, my choices questioned, and sometimes, even my intentions misunderstood. It was a world where smiles could hide pain and applause could feel hollow. I also realized the loneliness of being young in a world full of adults. I was learning fast that trust was rare and genuine friendship even rarer. But through all of this, I kept one thing alive: my music, my voice. The one place where I could truly be Selena Gomez, not just a name on a screen, not just a character in someone else's story. Every song I wrote, every note I sang, carried my heart. And slowly, the world started to notice. People began to connect with my voice, with my story, and with the emotions I poured into every performance. It was no longer just about fame. It was about connection, about touching hearts, about making my struggles and dreams meaningful. I realized then, fame isn't just lights and cameras. It's responsibility. It's courage. It's the strength to keep being yourself when the world wants you to be everyone else. And I promised myself, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how lonely the journey feels, I will never let go of the girl who believed she could sing, dance, and dream beyond her world. Fame looked beautiful from the outside. Bright lights, smiling faces, red carpets, and applause. But behind every smile I wore, there were battles no one could see. Being Selena Gomez meant living under a microscope. Every decision I made, every step I took was judged. The pressure to be perfect, to always appear happy, to never let anyone see the cracks, it was exhausting. I struggled with anxiety. I struggled with self-doubt. Even when people cheered for me, I often felt invisible inside, as if the real me was lost beneath the expectations of everyone else. And then came the personal battles. There were moments when my health suffered, when I felt weak, when the weight of fame and life's challenges pressed me down. There were nights I cried alone, missing a normal life, missing the simplicity of being just a girl who dreamed of singing and acting without the world watching. Relationships were even harder. I learned quickly that not everyone around me had pure intentions. Some were there for my name, some for my fame, and some to take advantage of my vulnerability. Trust became a luxury I couldn't afford, and loneliness often sat beside me like a shadow I couldn't shake. Yet, in the middle of all this, music was my salvation. Writing songs, singing my heart out, performing, it reminded me of who I truly was. It reminded me that beneath the pressures and the judgments, I was still Selena Gomez, a girl with dreams, a voice, and a heart that refused to give up. I realized something crucial. Fame doesn't make life easier. It doesn't protect you from pain or loss. It doesn't make loneliness disappear. Fame only magnifies everything, both the joy and the pain. And surviving it, surviving yourself in the spotlight, takes courage I didn't know I had until I faced it. Every tear I cried, every fear I overcame, every song I sang with my soul, it shaped me. It reminded me that I could endure, that I could rise above judgment, above fear, above pain. And slowly, piece by piece, I began to understand. Being Selena Gomez wasn't about perfection. It was about resilience. It was about finding light in the darkness and learning to shine, even when the world wanted to dim you. There were moments when I wanted to give up, when the weight of expectations, the pressure of fame, and the struggles of life felt unbearable. When I looked in the mirror, I didn't always recognize the girl staring back at me. But every time I felt like falling, I remembered why I started. I remembered the little Selena Gomez who dreamed of singing and acting, who believed her voice mattered, who believed in the magic of music even when life felt unfair. I remembered my parents' sacrifices, my family's love, and the countless people who had supported me in small ways, even when I didn't notice. And slowly, I realized something important. Strength isn't about never breaking. Strength isn't about always smiling or never crying. Strength is about getting up, every single time, even when the world knocks you down. I faced challenges head-on. I worked harder than ever, not to impress anyone, not for fame, but to prove to myself that I could survive. I learned to listen to my heart, to prioritize my health, my happiness, and my dreams. I discovered that resilience isn't something you're born with, it's something you cultivate with every struggle, every failure, every tear. Even when the media criticized me, even when rumors spread, even when personal relationships fell apart, I held on to one truth. I am Selena Gomez, and my life, my voice, and my dreams matter. Music became my therapy. Singing wasn't just a performance, it was a way to heal, to express, to connect. Through every song, I poured my soul, my pain, my hope, my strength. And with every note, I felt more alive, more powerful, more myself. I realized that life will always challenge you. It will test your limits, break your heart, and make you question your worth. But the strongest people aren't the ones who never fall. They're the ones who rise again and again, carrying their scars proudly and finding courage in every step forward. And that is exactly what I chose to do. To keep going, to keep dreaming, to keep being Selena Gomez in a world that sometimes tries to forget who you are. Life isn't fair, and fame doesn't make it any easier. There were times when it felt like the entire world was against me. Criticism, rumors, heartbreak, and personal struggles surrounded me, threatening to pull me under. But I learned something vital. Storms don't last forever. You can either let them drown you, or you can rise through them. I rose. I rose not because it was easy, but because I had no other choice. I had a voice to share, a story to tell, and a heart that refused to break completely. I focused on my passions, singing, acting, and connecting with people through my art. Every challenge became fuel. Every tear became a spark. The more the world tried to define me, the stronger I became in defining myself. Health challenges came unexpectedly. Moments of doubt came quietly, lingering like shadows. And heartbreaks? They hit harder than I ever imagined. Yet, through all this, I discovered resilience. I discovered that pain doesn't weaken you, it shapes you, molds you, makes you stronger than you ever thought possible. I started speaking out about mental health, sharing my experiences openly. Not because I wanted attention, but because I knew someone else might be going through the same storm and needed to hear, "You're not alone." Every song I released, every project I worked on, carried a piece of my journey. The pain, the growth, the love, the heartbreak, all of it was part of me. And through it all, I realized the most important lesson. It's not about being perfect. It's not about pleasing everyone. It's about being true to yourself, rising through your storms, and letting your light shine even when darkness surrounds you. I am Selena Gomez, and I have survived. I have grown. I have learned that even in the hardest storms, you can find strength, purpose, and hope. Through every challenge, every heartbreak, and every expectation, I realized something important. My voice is more than just sound, it's my truth. For years, I tried to please everyone: fans, media, even people close to me. I acted, I smiled, I performed, but sometimes inside, I felt lost. I was Selena Gomez, yet I was hiding pieces of myself behind masks I thought the world demanded. And then I decided to stop hiding. I started speaking openly about my struggles, my mental health, my fears, and my dreams. I shared my pain through songs, interviews, and even social media, not for attention, but for connection. I realized my story could help someone else feel less alone. And if my voice could heal even one heart, it was worth being brave. Music became my safe place again. I poured my soul into every lyric, every melody, every note. I discovered that expressing yourself, being authentic, and facing the world as your true self is the most powerful thing anyone can do. I also learned to protect my heart. Not everyone deserves a piece of it. Not everyone understands the battles you fight. And that's okay. The right people, the ones who truly care, will stand by you, even when the world feels harsh and cold. Through this journey, I understood. Being Selena Gomez is not about fame. It's about courage. It's about resilience. It's about finding your voice and refusing to be silenced by fear, judgment, or doubt. And slowly, with each day, each song, each act of honesty, I felt whole again. I was not just surviving. I was living. And that is when I truly found myself. Looking back, I realized that every challenge, every heartbreak, every mistake shaped me into the person I am today. I am Selena Gomez, and my journey has been anything but easy. There were times I wanted to quit. Times when the world felt heavy, when expectations felt unbearable, when the pain seemed endless. But through it all, I learned to embrace my journey, every dark moment, every triumph, every lesson. I stopped comparing myself to others. I stopped trying to fit into a mold I was never meant to fit into. I began to accept my imperfections, my scars, my fears, and even my doubts. Because they are a part of me. They are what make me human. They are what give my music depth, my acting authenticity, and my life meaning. I also learned to celebrate small victories. The moments when I laughed despite the tears. The times I stood tall when I could have fallen. The songs I sang from my heart, even when my voice shook with emotion. And slowly, I started to feel peace. Not because life was perfect, but because I was finally at peace with myself. I understood that the journey isn't about being flawless. It's about growth. It's about courage. It's about rising again and again and finding strength you didn't know you had. I am Selena Gomez. I have faced storms, heartbreak, and doubt. I have struggled with health, fame, and my own fears. And yet, I stand here, stronger, wiser, and more alive than ever. My story isn't just mine. It belongs to anyone who has ever felt small, invisible, or unheard. It belongs to those who are fighting battles behind closed doors, wondering if they can survive. It belongs to anyone who needs hope. And this is my promise to myself and to the world. I will keep singing. I will keep speaking my truth. I will keep rising. Because this is my journey, and I choose to embrace it fully, with courage, with love, and with my heart wide open. Life is a series of endings and beginnings. And after all the storms, the struggles, the heartbreak, and the growth, I realized I was standing at the doorstep of a new beginning. I am Selena Gomez, and I have learned that beginnings don't erase the past, they honor it. They honor the tears, the lessons, the mistakes, and the victories that shaped me. I embraced every part of myself, the girl who dreamed big, the young woman who struggled, the artist who sang from her soul. I accepted that my journey is mine alone. No one else can walk it for me, and no one else can define it. This new beginning wasn't about fame, awards, or recognition. It was about being true to myself. It was about waking up each day and choosing authenticity over approval, courage over fear, love over doubt. It was about sharing my story, my music, and my heart in a way that can inspire, heal, and connect with others. I know there will be challenges ahead. Life doesn't suddenly become easy, but I have something far more powerful than ease. I have resilience. I have courage. I have hope. And I have a voice that refuses to be silenced. So I step forward with gratitude for the past, strength in the present, and hope for the future. I will continue to sing, to act, to create, and to inspire. I will continue to rise again and again because that is who I am. I am Selena Gomez, and this is my new beginning. A beginning filled with courage, with love, and with the promise that no matter what life throws at me, I will face it with my heart wide open. Because endings are only the start of something greater. And I am ready to embrace it all. Life has a way of teaching you things you never expected to learn. I am Selena Gomez, and my journey has been full of lessons. Sometimes hard, sometimes painful, but always meaningful. I learned that strength isn't about never falling. It's about rising every time you do. I learned that love isn't always enough to fix everything. I learned that fame can be heavy, but your true self is heavier and you must protect it. I carry the lessons of heartbreak, rejection, and mistakes. I carry the lessons of friendships lost and relationships that didn't last. I carry the lessons of being misunderstood and judged, even when all I wanted was to do my best. But most importantly, I carry the lesson that my voice matters, that my story matters, and that every scar, every tear, every moment of struggle has shaped me into someone stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. I understand now that life isn't about avoiding pain. It's about learning from it, growing through it, and using it to help others. Every song I sing, every project I take on, every word I share, it carries the wisdom of my journey. And I hope, through my story, someone out there can find courage. Someone out there can find hope. Someone can realize that they, too, can rise above their struggles because the lessons we carry are our true strength. After all the storms, the heartbreak, the fame, and the growth, I am finally living my truth. I am Selena Gomez, not defined by the world's expectations, but by my own courage, love, and resilience. Living my truth means embracing who I am fully and unapologetically. It means acknowledging my past without shame. It means celebrating my achievements without arrogance. It means speaking openly about my struggles so that others may feel less alone. I no longer fear judgment. I no longer hide behind masks. I no longer measure my worth by others' approval. Instead, I measure it by my ability to stay authentic, to stay brave, and to stay compassionate. I live for the moments that make my heart beat fast, for the people who truly care, and for the art that allows me to express my soul. I know there will still be challenges ahead. Life is never perfect. But I have something far more valuable than perfection. I have honesty, courage, and a voice that will not be silenced. So I step forward every day with love, hope, and purpose. I share my story, my music, and my heart, knowing that living my truth is the greatest victory of all. I am Selena Gomez. I am not just surviving. I am living. And I am free.